All right, everybody, welcome to another broadcast or installment of Monica at Home. I am your host, Monica Foster, and I haven't been here for a while. Usually I am here every day, or at least I try to be here every day from, 6 p.m. to 6:30, Monday through Friday. But I actually needed to take a little bit of time to myself over the past couple of days. For those of you out there who read my blog on monicafoster.blogspot.com, I'm sure that you're aware of why, and I'll go ahead and put the link to my blog in the chat room. There you go. But yeah, I have bounced back. I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm back on my regular schedule. I actually really enjoy doing this show because it's a nice break in the day. It gives me something to do aside from my webcam shows and other, the other multitude of activities that I'm involved in. And I like to just check in with, all of my Monica Foster friends, fans, peeps, whatever you want to call yourself. Today's show I think should be pretty good. I have a few things I'd like to discuss. The primary topic I want to discuss is life after porn. Is there such a thing? I believe so. So that's something that we'll be talking about in a few minutes. But I just want to give everyone out there a nice shout out. To those of you who are watching me the first time, my professional name is definitely Monica Foster, and I'm probably best known as an adult webcam girl, but you can also check out many of my adult video releases at your local adult video store or through the many adult entertainment websites that distribute my movies. I'm probably best known as Claire from the adult parody of The Cosby Show, not The Cosby's XXX number 1 and 2. But aside from, being an adult entertainer, because I've done everything in adult entertainment, from dancing to webcamming to being an adult actress, but I'm also a photographer. I'm a web designer. I'm a graphic artist, and my new term for myself is online media mogul, especially when it comes to the adult entertainment industry, because I know quite a bit. As I get more money, I can implement more of my ideas. But hopefully, that day's not here yet, but hopefully it'll be here soon. So let's see, who all is in the chat room? Oh, we got Joseph Wayne Tanner in Florida. How are you doing today? I'm so glad that you could make it. I know you've been wanting to catch my show for a little while now, and I haven't been here, but I'm back. I'm back and I'm bad. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. So, okay, today I do want to talk about life after porn. A lot of people think that once you become a porn actress, you have one of two choices. You can either make it a lifelong career, or you have to do a complete 180, turn around, run for the hills, repent, become a dedicated member of the church or some religion, and both of those options are fine. I have no qualms against anyone who does make the adult entertainment industry a lifelong career. That might be me, but I'm segueing a bit more into other areas of the entertainment industry. But if you want to make it a lifelong career, go for it. Look at Nina Hartley. Look at Ron Jeremy. They seem to be very happy, productive individuals, and they've definitely made the adult entertainment industry their career, so more power to them. And I'm also not against people who decide to do a complete 180. For example, Shelley Lubin. She definitely did a complete 180, but it seems to work for her. So, to each their own. But what I want to talk about today is that there is a middle ground. You don't have to completely hide from your past once you leave the porn industry. You don't have to repent and say that, you made the biggest mistake of your life and that you're so sorry, because maybe you're not. I'm not. I think that, for me, doing porn, it got my name out there. It definitely increased traffic to my website. And most of all, it made me grow as a person. It made me mature just not through doing the actual act of porn, but just from the life experiences that came along with it. And I've also found a lot more confidence within myself. Within the porn industry, initially I was thinking, okay, I've done porn, I guess, I guess my future is just going to be to produce adult movies. But I actually spoke to a really good friend of mine about this very topic recently. And she was like, with everything that you're able to do with online media production and development and marketing, why would you just limit yourself to only working in adult? You live in Hollywood, people there are progressive, and you can just move on and do whatever you want to do behind the scenes. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to segue and work in other areas of entertainment. I'll probably work a bit in adult, but I'll work a bit in mainstream, and I'll work a bit in alternative. And that's just me. But you don't even have to stay in entertainment when you leave the porn industry. There's so many different occupations that you can go into. I mean, obviously, you might have a hard time becoming something like a teacher or, anything to where morality is greatly intertwined with the profession. But the world's open to you. You don't have to hide from your past. Most likely you had a stage name anyway. But if your real name is connected with your stage name and you've worked in adult, it's really not that big of a thing, because most people are clueless as to what the adult entertainment industry is really all about. Most people are clueless as to what porn really entails. There's a few who know. There's a few who are interested in it. But I kind of, want to use the analogy of, let's say you have somebody who is really just into country music, and you have a hip-hop artist who decides to go into country music, and most likely that person is only into country music. The only hip-hop artist that's going to come to their mind, the only couple are going to be like P. Diddy and Eminem. Just as how mainstream America views adult industry America. The only names that are going to really come to mind when they think of the porn industry are Jenna Jameson and maybe Tara Patrick, and that's it. So, be proud of who you are. We all make choices in life, and sometimes, no one wants to paint themselves as a victim. I definitely don't want to, but even though you might consciously make the choice to go into the adult entertainment world, that doesn't mean that you totally thought it out. It also doesn't mean that you were not a victim of certain circumstances that brought you to making that choice. So, I definitely don't feel bad about anything I've done, because I do think out things as much as I possibly can. I try to, educate myself about pretty much anything I do before I do it. But, however people choose to view you is how they choose to view you, but you got to be able to get to a middle ground to where you can be comfortable with yourself, and that's the only way you're going to move forward. So is there life after porn? Definitely. Definitely. Now, let's see. What's my porn name? Squeak36 asks. I think I said it pretty much several times, and if you're watching this, all you got to do is scroll up to the top of the page.